Good morning, everyone. So I had a few minutes this morning. I thought I would make a short video. I hope you can see the beautiful sunshine and the woods behind me. I woke up this morning with, I was talking to Metatron about what I'd been dreaming, and I started hearing, I'm going to sing that song. You had to really be into 90s stuff to appreciate this, but it was running, running, and running, running, and running, running. Let's get it started. Because Saturn has moved forward. I feel so much better today. I don't know how all of you are doing. So what happened with that new moon, and when we talk about gateways and portals and all that kind of stuff, remember how I talked about on my YouTube video how he showed me like it's waves coming to shore, basically. Like that's how, so we never stop getting upgrades and vibrations. It's just that some are more meaningful, bigger than others, bigger changes coming than others. So what happened with that new moon was that a lot of us closed timelines that we had been working toward. And when that happens, you can have a tremendous feeling of loss. There can be fear, because there's an aspect of you, the inner child, that forms attachments and is still insecure, and so feels like the security is ripped away, like the future's gone, all that kind of fun stuff. And I know that I see those things and I experience those things so that I can explain to people, like especially for those of you who know that you're coming into partnership. A lot of people don't realize, they think that they're always interacting with the same energy, and it's usually not. It's usually a lot of different options, and we play out the realities of coming together with those people in different existences before it comes to fruition on the planet. So what happens is a lot of times in those relationships, things go awry, and so you don't ever meet. That's why you can go to someone, a psychic, or me. I mean, I'm really careful with what I tell people now because of it happening with me. And the angels have told me, like, you're going to meet somebody at this time, and then you don't meet. It isn't because the psychic was wrong or the angels were lying to you. It's because there's a better option ahead. Down the road is what he's saying. Down the road, there's a better option. And as we're going through our journey and we're doing healing work, we're upgrading. And so a lot of the times we outgrow the relationship, like the lessons that we were going to learn in that relationship, we learn outside of it. And so we don't have to experience bad stuff. Like I was shown what the culmination of events that occurred in that timeline with me meeting that person and what ended up happening. It was really awful. Really awful. I knew when I was being shown that it wasn't going to happen. But yeah, so, a lot of times you're just being spared a lot of heartache. No one's taking anything away from you. And of course I know that consciously, but over the weekend, he was telling me like, you think this and this. And I was like, what? And then you test with kinesiology to find out what your subconscious believes. And he was right. I had all of these still. I had that God's already worked out my future. I had that they stole my future, just all kinds of stuff that I don't believe, but my subconscious does, or did. Anyway, so yeah, it's really right now with this Mars, Uranus, Neptune, Chiron, I mean, you name the planet right now, we're talking about inner child issues. So I'm going to make a video in the next 2-3 days. I'm going to do a video for healing the inner child meditation. I'll probably put that up on Vimeo, but I will keep you posted about that. Anyway, it's just been, for all of us, a lot of times things happen with me first, so like ahead of the energies, which is what happened this past weekend. So if you are feeling like, you're just upset and sad and you can't put your finger on exactly what it is, it's most likely related to the timeline closing out and you moving into another timeline. And, just a lot of times there's resistance. Like my higher self told me the other night, release the timeline. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't realize I was holding on to it. But Yeah, it's like he's saying it's difficult for us as humans to let go of something that's very familiar. Change is, you know, not always like something that everybody's like, yeah, I'd like a radical change. Because when everything shifts and we get like whoa, all discombobulated, and it's really like centering and having security, our own security, not relying on other people to bring us a sense of security, doing our work on our inner child wound. It's like that damn spiral, people, that path that's not a straight line that we keep coming back to things. So yeah, ask for help from them if you need to release something. If you're feeling sad about something, it's most likely that something needs to be released. And if you just sit in meditation and ask them to guide you, those things will come to your mind. The only thing that kills that is self-doubt. So make sure, well, what I do is I surrender lower ego to the light of creation before I do that, before I start asking questions, because otherwise we can interfere with our channel, is what he's saying. It brings static to the channel, is what he's saying. So yeah, try to do things that soothe you. I know a lot of people are really tensed up right now. Like, I couldn't even believe I rubbed my shoulder the other night. I was like, oh my gosh, it was like a rock. Because of all this stuff with this Mars, Uranus, there's just a lot of tension still. And don't forget that Mars is the inner child. A lot of people say that Aries is the perpetual child. Mars is the perpetual child that stomps their feet and acts like a brat when they don't get their way, which is what I did. Not consciously, but I get the fun of seeing that stuff after it's gone down. It's like really embarrassing, but I've let it go. I've moved on from it. Anyway, so yeah, we want to make sure that we're pampering ourselves and doing the work for our inner child, so that we're not involved in some codependent, pathetic scenario where we're just getting that from other people and putting up with a lot of stuff in relationships that's selling ourselves short. Looking for love in all the wrong places, looking for love in other people. If you don't if you're not completely in love with yourself, how can anyone else be? So you can use kinesiology to do that testing. You can ask Metatron to help you with that. I do still have the sale. I have 30-minute sessions on my website too. If you want to try that. So yeah, everybody, just really being kind to yourself right now is so important. Saying kind things to yourself. If you can think of 5 things that you did during the day that you're happy about, like, oh, that was great that I got all of the grocery shopping done today. It counts. It's something that you did that you can tell yourself that's nice, or I'm so glad I scheduled the kids' doctor's appointments today. You can say things like that. It makes you feel better. Singing, music, dancing in your kitchen. If I make myself do stuff like that on days that I'm feeling low, it just lifts your vibrations so quickly. And it's just really intense, and it's not going to let up. There's not going to be like a long period where we have a breather now. We're going through, when Venus goes into Scorpio, she's cleaning up what Jupiter wasn't able to take care of. She's there until January 5th. I'm pretty sure, I don't have the date written down, but I'm pretty sure it's January 5th. And, we're also finishing up the North Node in Leo. What's keeping you from shining? What's keeping you from coming out there and being like, here I am, big bad world? It's about bringing your creative gifts out for everyone to see. And Leo is where the home of the sun. That's where we shine. Our 5th house, the constellation of Leo. There's a lot of clues in your natal chart, what your gift is. And it's the stories that we tell ourselves about why it won't work out. Well, who's going to take care of the kids if I do that? Or who's going to do this? And, we can come up with a lot of reasons that might be excuses, because it's fear of shining. It's fear of coming out of that closet and making ourselves known to the world. So yeah, that's what we're dealing with. And it all goes back to issues of worth. And that's what Venus and Scorpio is all about. That's the sign. Pluto rules wealth and worth and other people's and money. So it's like how other people are reflecting that back to us, and it's going to be intense. So remember to keep encouraging yourself. Be kind to yourself every day, because you need it for the days that are, a little bit rougher than others. So yeah, a lot of intensity as we build up to that Mars Uranus square. Oh shoot, you guys, I think it's the 18th. And so, but you feel that before it actually happens. Once it happens, it's a lot more relaxed. We've got all these storms, the super typhoon. I saw there were 5 storms in the Atlantic. I think there's 3 in the Pacific. I know one of those in the Atlantic will be quite severe, but yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that the other ones won't be anything, but anyway, I was waiting to get the wording for it and I didn't. So yeah, I've been, sending unconditional love into the storm, sending the Creator's peace, Creator's unconditional love, or God's unconditional love, however you want to say that. You could say the universe's unconditional love will help when that impact comes, and then like I'm lighting up the pathway too of where it's going to travel with unconditional love for every quark of creation on the way, because you've got animals, you've got, the forests, you've got everything, you can see yourself, like when you go in to do the work, like what needs to be done, they'll help direct you with that. Anyway, so that's all I had for today. Just wanted to give everyone a heads up on the weekend. A lot of deep breathing, taking the deep breath and feeling it go into your root chakra, watching yourself then go down through your legs, through the feet, into the black roots, into the center of the earth, will help a lot to stay grounded and centered, and then also make sure, you might want to check that, like if you are carrying anything of the collective, that you release that, ask that to be released, that you don't have an obligation to carry that in your own energy, so that you're keeping your own vibration high. It doesn't do any good to take that stuff on. It doesn't alleviate really anything for anybody else. So anyway, everyone, have a great day. And we still have Mars coming. He's coming up on the south node, but still a good time for movement and action. That's why he was playing that song for me this morning. Let's get it started, people. Anyway, everybody, take care.